Aji, NPP laga Chief and Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Konark Sangma, Aji March 25th, Nagaland visit Kurishe, Aro tai Chief Minister ni Purio logote tai ekta closed door meeting puishe. Aro tai bra kushe ke itu meeting to pishi positive takishe, aro itu par 18 Lok Sabha election de Jundo PTA la consensus candidate ase Dr. Chumben Murry ke takan NPP brabe takan all out support krubu kushe. Aro itu pasote takan aji NPP kan Niato resort all party meeting takishe itu meeting khotom korigina wall fort jundo NPP laga headquarters ase tade headquarter office te takan aji Konark Sangma bra press conference address kurish itu laga press conference te aji chief minister ni Purio logot tai ki meeting puishe itu laga outcome kuishe aro itu noigina itia NPP elected member jundo Nagaland de pangsta ase takan gibi ekta responsibilities dibo karone positively rukhia ase kobe ami kan huni paise to aibi itu sob laga opore Konark Sangma chief minister of Meghalaya bra press conference te ki koise olop saisau.
A very good evening to everybody who is present here today. I would like to first of all thank all of you for coming for this press conference at a very short notice. I also would like to express my gratitude to our state committee, especially to our state president and the entire state committee and the honorable MLAs for having organized the meetings at different levels of the state. In the state committee meeting which we held today, based on the proposal that was given by the state committee, a number of resolutions were taken in my presence today in the meeting that was held in Electoral Resort. The first resolution that we took today officially was to support the candidature that is being proposed and sponsored by the Ndpp for the Lok Sabha elections. We have decided as a National People's Party to endorse that candidature and as a party to support the candidature that has been proposed by the Ndpp in the true team spirit of the NDA. As you're aware, the NDA partners have expressed similar support to the different political parties of the NDA who have sponsored candidates in different parts of the Northeast. The NDA partners are supporting each other in those states also. For example, in Meghalaya, the NDA partners are supporting the candidature of the NPP. In Arunachal, the NDA partners are supporting the candidature of the BJP. And also in Outer Manipur, the NPF has met me today, and they have urged for us to support. And officially we have discussed with the Manipur unit also of the NPP, and our MLAs have also expressed, then the parties expressed that they will support the candidature of the NPF in Outer Manipur also. So hence, this is the spirit in which the entire NDA is today working. And it is in that spirit that we met the Honorable Chief Minister of Nagaland, Mr. Rio, and we have handed over that resolution to him, and we have expressed, as I said, our full support for the candidature that is sponsored by the Ndpp. Apart from that, we have discussed other issues related to the overall coalition and the working of the coalition. And those are, of course, matters which are more internal, and therefore I do not wish to discuss those in details. But certain concerns have been expressed, and those have also been shared with the Honorable Chief Minister of Nagaland. We had a very, very positive meeting. In the meeting, there were also representatives from the other coalition partners like the BJP. And as I said, in front of them, also we discussed all the details about the election. And as I said, once again, we are very happy to give our support to the Ndpp candidate and in the spirit of the overall team NDA. So this was the real purpose of my visit. Apart from that, of course, I've had detailed discussions with our honorable MLAs and our party leaders regarding organization and strengthening of the party. Many discussions took place on that also, and certain decisions and resolutions, which are again internal matters of the party, have been taken. And we will work hard to ensure that we organize the party in a stronger manner also in the state and in the region of the Northeast as a whole. No, there was no agreement as such. It was mainly the election-related issues. But yes, of course, as I said, in coalition, there's always a lot of issues and concerns are there, which is there in every coalition. I also run a coalition of almost 7 parties, 6 parties now in the state, and therefore there are always complications. We use this opportunity to discuss those issues and concerns which our MLAs and our party leaders had, and shared those concerns and requested the intervention of the Honorable CM to resolve some of those issues. So that was all. It was not really any kind of agreement as such, but it was normal coalition-related matters.
So now that your party, Ndpp, is giving a full support to the PTA government, led by Rio, but whereas your elected legislators has not been given any responsibilities. So in that regard, so is your party just willing to go ahead like this, or do you expect that the elected 5 legislators will be assigned at least some portfolios in the coming days?
So running a coalition is not always very simple. As I said, I have also run a coalition, and I run a coalition now. There are challenges always in a coalition, and we respect those challenges. But at the same time, obviously as coalition partners, we also expect certain kind of responsibilities, as you said correctly, being given to us. Well, working with the government is in itself a responsibility, and taking care of our constituencies is a responsibility, which we are doing now, and we are getting certain support from the Honorable Chief Minister and the government. And while we do get that, we do expect, and our expectations are there in other forms also, as you said correctly, in terms of having some kind of a responsibility being given to our MLAs. We have urged the Honorable Chief Minister to consider that and to see how our legislators, who are very experienced, some of them are maybe new, but they have got large experience in terms of public service, and therefore their expertise can be used for the overall betterment of the government. And so we have urged, this was also part of the discussion. Since you've asked the question, we can share with you that this was part of our discussion today with Honorable Chief Minister, and he has definitely agreed to consider and look into the matter. There are challenges, there are many partners, and hence he has to balance out the entire prospect. But as coalition partners, it was our duty to express those concerns, and we have expressed that also. And we do expect that we'll get some response in a positive way. You see, there is always rift in every political party. Let's not be naive out here. We do know that all political parties, politics is there in all the aspects of governance and in all political parties. The idea is to try to bring them together, and the idea is to really figure out how we can carry things forward and move things forward. So you're right that there may be concerns. We see this in all political parties. We face this even in our state, and even in our political parties. And that is actually the nature of democracy in one way, you can say. So therefore, everybody expects that their voice will be heard, their concerns will be addressed, and they will be given the importance. But it cannot happen in a manner in which everybody can be. So therefore, these concerns are being addressed. I assure our party leaders, I assure our MLAs that whatever we do, we will be doing what is in the best interest of the party. And more importantly, what is in the best interest of the state and the people. And that is what should be driving us. Hence, these kind of concerns will be there. But I'm happy to say that while these concerns and drifts may be there, the party is working as a team, and we are having a good president who has taken everybody on board and calls and discusses these matters. He has, in fact, played a very important role in ensuring that I come personally this time to meet Mr. Rio and the party leaders so that we can discuss all these concerns and these matters are there. So therefore, I don't want to go too much into details, but like any other political party, there are concerns which will always be there. But as a party president, it is my duty and responsibility, and our party president's responsibility, to address those concerns and issues, and we will address them as they come up. Yeah, there are two ways in which you can work in a government. One is with the government, and one is, of course, as an opposition. If you recall from late Mr. P. Sangma's time, from the time of NCP, that time we were in NCP, and then we had formed the Ndpp. My late father, who was our leader, has always worked closely with Mr. Rio. And that is one relationship that he had always respected. And obviously, as a tradition and as a legacy, we ensure that we are with our coalition partners. We fight elections against each other just because that's a democratic process. But we also respect old relations. And therefore, when we discussed with Mr. Rio, and we asked for different kind of aspects on how we will be able to move forward and work together, especially keeping in mind our MLA's concerns about the constituencies. We received positive response from Mr. Rio saying that yes, we'll work together, we will support your MLAs, and we will work towards the development agenda that your party has and this coalition has. And hence, based on that, and based on the discussions we had with the party leaders and the discussion we had with our MLAs, we all unanimously decided at that point in time that we should work closely and continue the tradition earlier that we had worked with Mr. Rio from before, to continue that tradition. So therefore, we are working in that. But let me also put in a point here that while working with the government, of course, when the issues come up of the people and concerns come up, we will address those concerns and issues also. It's not that we will always agree on everything that government is saying. Whenever and wherever necessary, if there are certain issues that needed to be taken up for the larger interests of the people, the National People's Party will never shy away from those concerns and issues, and we will take them up in the right earnest. But obviously, as I said, we will try to resolve those issues first, being coalition partners. But wherever necessary, as I said, we will take a stand to take the issues of the people and the concerns of the people forward. You see, politics is uncertain. A very fair question. I don't think it's an unfair question at all. It's a very fair question. Politics is always uncertain. There are always many dynamics and many aspects of politics we have to see. Many political leaders will look at the situation and make their decisions. And that's been the nature of politics in the region as a whole and even in the national level. So therefore, again, we should not say that, no, it will never happen again. We expect that we'll be able to take the team forward. And as of now, I see that the team that we are having, though we have a lot of challenges and we have a lot of hurdles in front of us, but yet the team has stuck together. We have moved forward. We have tried to overcome different situations. And that's a good positive sign of a team. And it's a good sign also of a leader, which is our president who's here with us. And therefore, this is what we feel as of now. And we will continue to work together. If a situation arises where any of the MLAs have concerns and they think otherwise, we will discuss and we'll see how to handle the situation. But I think it's too early to go into that aspect right now. But politics, as I said, is always uncertain. But we do hope that we will continue to work in the spirit of bringing up issues of Nagaland as well as the Northeast together in the true spirit of what Ndpp stands for. You see, we have to understand what the electoral bonds are all about. And it was actually moved by Government of India to create some kind of a process in which funding would take place. This is how funding takes place at the international level. And therefore, the idea was to really bring in some kind of transparency and allowing a process to be there, funding, and not allowing cash to be there in terms of the funding. So it was a decision in the right direction, I should say. For whatever reason, the Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court, has come down and asked for a disclosure, which of course was being done in order to protect the political ramifications that one could have because of the donations made. But the information of those donations that are made are actually available with all, because they have to reflect that in their balance sheet and all the other things. So therefore, it was a very transparent process, and something that I feel personally, and from the party's point of view, a step in the right direction towards bringing in slightly cleaner and more transparent funding into the electoral system. That's number one. For whatever reason the Supreme Court has decided, I'm not here to judge on that. But as I said, the decision of the government and Election Commission to make electoral bonds and to allow the funding through electoral bonds was the correct one, and it was done in the right earnest. That's number one. Is it going to impact things? Yes, it is going to impact, because now we'll go back to cash funding, and people will not come out openly in the funding that they're doing. So that's number one about electoral bonds. Regarding the arrest of Mr. Kejriwal, again, as I said, that's a judicial process. It's not something that we can comment on, though we know the background and the history of all the summons that were made and different times that were asked to come and present himself. So those concerns were there, and for whatever reason, the High Court at that point when the intervention took place and the discussion that was in the High Court, in Delhi High Court, when the case was going on, so that time the Enforcement Directorate had produced some documents, and based on that, the High Court has had to move forward. So really, it's not something that I would like to comment on. But as I said, it's a process that's being followed. If the process is not being followed, then I'm sure the Supreme Court or the courts will interfere and they will take necessary steps. Regarding the third part, which you had mentioned about the freezing of the accounts, again, it's a procedural aspect. You know that certain returns were not filed by the bank, by the concerned parties. And because the returns were not filed by those parties, the normal procedure was for the bank accounts to be frozen. So it's not, again, a procedure that's being done out of the box for certain parties. It's being done because procedures of returns which every party, for example, our party also, National People's Party, being a national party, we have to follow certain procedures. We have to file returns, and we had a very difficult time to clarify all those aspects which are there, because it is a very, very tedious process. And so those processes were not followed, and based on that, the accounts were frozen. So therefore, it's really not something that one should look at it politically. One should have completed the processes. And since the process was not complete, returns were not filed, the accounts were frozen. So really, that's what the background is. So I mean, we can find out the facts more, and then.
Just before elections.
Well, that's not something that I would like to comment on, but I'm giving you the facts of the situation that happened. Regarding the other matters, it's really the agencies which have done it, they'll be in a better position to reply. We're not in a better position to reply about that. But I thought I'll just share the facts with you. I have not seen any order in that line of any kind of order being given by Assam government that this has to be done. So that we don't know about that aspect. But what I'm saying is that it's not a government order as such. Let me again go back into the background. That these were certain organizations that had come out with some kind of Facebook or some kind of a publicity where they had given statements saying that these schools and these organizations should not project religious symbols and should not wear religious clothes. So it was not a government as per. It was some organization, it was not related to government at all, that made that comment. So that's number one. Let's be also clear on the facts. Number two, regarding the fact that Assam government has not replied to that, that is something that I cannot say, because it's up to Assam government to say. Third, which of course is the stand of the party, which is more important, is that any kind of religious freedom that we have, these kind of things cannot be suppressed. So whatever is being done is something that if these kind of things are happening by organizations, the respective state governments must respond and must react, and they must make it clear that these kind of fringe elements that try to do this kind of things will not be accepted. So therefore, we are very clear as a political party that this is kind of diktat and this kind of by organizations that are being done is not acceptable. And we urge the governments that are there in place that they should come out with necessary response if necessary. And they should make it clear that these kind of things are not something that the government also supports or government is doing. So this clarification must be done. We're very clear about that. And as I said, the freedom and that is to be given to respective organizations to express, their religious sentiments should not be suppressed at all. So we're very clear about as a party.